So let's get into the three principles. So these are the biggest three things that I've learned throughout just my years. I've been doing this for almost pretty much going on 7 years now, and I can tell you this that when I wasn't doing these things, it was some of the biggest things that really held me back from succeeding, from impacting the people I want to impact. Like once I started doing these things, I mean, exploding. Like, all right, number one, first thing is this. I'm giving you three mistakes. So this is the kind of different way we're doing it today. Three mistakes is um is you're making too many excuses to lose. Too many excuses to lose. And I kind of want to say this in a different way too. I'm gonna kind of say this in a different way. So, coach, can you really break that down? Like too many excuses to lose. With this, a lot of what this comes down to is this: for us to win, we have to do the things that's necessary. But if every time it comes to us doing certain things or certain part of the process we don't like or we feel uncomfortable, and this used to be me, so I'm not saying like this to us, but saying to you directly, but I'm saying this. One of the things I used to do is I would be easy to give excuses, right? If I didn't feel like it, if I was tired, or guess what? There was times, to be honest, this is you too. There was times that I didn't do something in anticipation of me being tired later. So like it was times where I didn't wake up out of the bed, and I could have waking up a little bit early, but I gave myself the excuse that I shouldn't wake up out of the bed because I'm like, I might be later. I might be tired later in the day. I don't want to be tired later, so let me not get up now. Number two, Valerie, I see you. Thank you. Number two, then we'll open up the floor for any questions. Number two, see, this is a huge one. Number two, the second big mistake I see most coaches making is they're not generating enough appointments. Not generating enough appointments. They're not generating enough appointments. Another huge mistake that I used to make, and I'm saying all of these because these are the mistakes that I used to make, is I wasn't, if you were to look at my calendar, right? So I live off my calendar, right? Some of us think we don't need to live off our calendar. We just do things off the top of our head. You got to stop it because you're going to forget things. We're all human, right? So in terms of generating appointments, before I didn't have enough appointments on my calendar. I was talking to people kind of randomly. Maybe I talked to somebody today. Maybe I won't talk to somebody today. Maybe I would generate some leads this week. Maybe I won't generate some leads this week. I'm kind of just going with the flow. I'm kind of in the wind. I got my business here. I wasn't running it like a machine. You got to run your business like a machine. If you put your card in and you press your numbers to get money out, you're expecting every time you put your card in that machine to get money out. You don't want them deducting money from your machine, from your bank account. You're not getting any money out of the machine, out of the ATM. You'll be pissed. Like, yo, what's going on with this machine? It's supposed to work. It's taking money out of my account, but it's not delivering me any cash. You got to look at your business the same way, right? So that was before. What does it look like now? Now I'm having many appointments all day. Let me share with you. Before it was bare, like you can barely see appointments, right? Let me share. I'm gonna share with y'all. I don't even show people my calendar, but I'm gonna share with y'all because it's important. This is what my calendar looks like now. All of these are appointments. My calendar used to never look like this. Let's go back. You think that was just this week? It's last week. It's last week. You think that's just that week? That's the previous week. All of these are appointments that are on my calendar. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm doing. Think that's that week? Let's go back 3 weeks. He's on vacation. Let's go back. Let's keep going. We're like 5, 6 weeks back now. 7 weeks ago. We can keep going. 8 weeks ago. So this is key to where when we talk about booking appointments on your calendar, realize that as coaches, the more people you speak to, the more people that the more clients that you're going to be able to help. And even if they don't come in your program today, that doesn't mean that they're not going to come in 6 months from now or 3 months from now. Make sense? And just because they don't come in today, or if they ever even come in, that doesn't mean you're not living your purpose. Because at the end of the day, even if you just got on a call and all you did was ask them questions that they never thought about, almost on a daily basis, I get people that say, wow, I never thought about these questions before. Nobody ever asked me these questions before. Even if they was on the phone with other coaches, the type of questions that we ask, they're not being asked that. And the type of depth that we go into and not letting people give you surface answers and all the kind of things we ask on calls, I promise you other people are not doing that. Right? So that's a skill that I developed. But at the end of the day, before I wasn't booking appointments, and now my calendar is packed. And if your calendar is not packed based on your schedule, again, I'm full time. Like it's a lot of us, we still work on 9 to 5, right? So your schedule should look packed based on your availability. You know what I mean? So if your availability is 2 hours after work, well, damn, pack up those 2 hours. Right? Pack those 2 hours, right? Like pack those 2 hours, okay? So make sure we're doing that. So so that's number 2. What you said, Marcy? Marcy said, I'm actually revamping my clarity session to reduce it to 15 minutes to secure more appointments during the day. Boom. There you go. There you go. Now, it allows you to qualify faster, which is actually one of the things we're talking about in the certification, is that you could do 1 hour long sessions, or you can actually pull out the qualification sessions and do them separately, and then do the actual presentation separate. So that means that you can actually do more. Appointments, so you can qualify people faster, and then the people actually make it over to strategy sessions. Your conversions increase because you're only going to spend an hour, 30 minutes to an hour talking to people and I spend about 45 minutes. You're only going to spend basically between 30 minutes and an hour talking to people that you know are highly qualified. And this is a doozy too. Number 3. All right, so number 3, and write this down. Number 3 is, hold on. Wait, let me move this so I can see. All right, so number 3 is not knowing and doing the full proven process. And write that down. Not knowing and doing the full proven process. Not knowing and doing the full proven process. Meaning, this alludes to what I mentioned earlier, is that you got to know the entire process. Just like if you're helping somebody with their career, or with their health, or with their relationships, or with trauma, or achieve their purpose in life, whatever you're helping people with, realize that in order for them to get the full result, they got to do the full process. They got to know what it is, and then they have to be doing the full process. Right? So I made the mistake of not doing that. I thought that even in with certain programs that I took before, that they would show me the full process, but I thought I was so sweet. I'm like, I'm sweet. Like, oh, I got this part. I know this part. I heard this part before, right? You feel what I'm saying, Vanessa? Like, it's certain things that, we see before, we felt like we heard it before, and because we felt like we heard it, we feel like we mastered it. Right? Is that true? Even if you heard something before, does that mean that you mastered it? No. Right, wrong? Doesn't mean that you mastered it.